For number 5, it says press a bump switch and both motors run until bump switch is pressed again, and then stop both the motors. For this one, we're going to get into while loops and repeating the process, because how we're currently working through this, if we look at program number 4, is when I press the bump switch, both motors turn on for 4 seconds and then they stop. And then if I press the bump switch again, nothing happens because I only wrote the program to happen one time. And so what I want is for this to happen all the time. And so this is referred to as a while loop. So I'm going to open up a new file. I'm going to grab my pragma from the previous one and start thinking about my pseudocode. So the first thing that needs to happen is press a bump switch, and then both motors turn on. So turn on left motor, turn on right motor. And then I want to press a bump switch again, and turn off the left motor, and turn off the right motor. I want this to happen over and over again. So if I program it just straight, the only way for me to make this happen all the time is to copy and paste the code and just keep going with it. So I'm going to go ahead and frame this out. So I'm going to go to Intel bump, and then I need 2 start motors, so movement. I'm going to start the left and start the right, and then I need another Intel bump, and then I'm going to stop the left and the right. So this gives it the action of being a proper switch. Sensor port for my bump switch, I titled it bump switch. The delay time, once again, I'm going to use 200. The motor port, left motor, right motor. Speed, if it's not designated, it can be whatever you want. Sensor port again, bump switch, delay time 200, left motor, and finally right motor. Okay, so I have this, and I'm going to go ahead and compile it so I can save it and check it for errors. So I'm going to go back to my desktop, programs, and save this as program number 5, not 45. There we go. So there's no errors, everything looks okay, but like I said, in order for this to repeat, to happen over and over again, I have to include something called a while loop. And so what a while loop does is once the code reaches the end, it then returns back up to the top again and waits for this next instance to occur. And there's several ways that you can do a while loop. You can use the code repeat forever. You can type in while true, or you can type in while 1 equals 1, because 1 equals 1 is computer speak for true, because 1 is equal to 1 always, and so that is a true statement. And so while that is true, repeat the code. Now I've got this curly brace here, and so this is where we need to start paying more attention to curly braces. So this marks the beginning of the task main. So open curly brace, start of task main. And then we have this curly brace down here, which is the end, close curly brace, end of task main. And then we have this while loop curly brace. And so I'm going to say this open curly brace is the start of the while loop. Okay. Now, in programming, as well as in math class, if you have an open parentheses, or in this case, an open curly brace, you have to have closed curly braces to match it. So this matches this curly brace, but I don't have my other curly brace to end the while loop. So I'm going to add that. So I'm going to hit Tab and add in my closed curly brace. tab that over. Actually, I'm not going to tab it over because I'm going to click on the fix formatting button and it does it automatically for me. And so you can see that everything has been structured out. The task main, the while is nested inside of the task main. And I mark the beginning and the end of the while loop using the curly braces. So make sure you're paying attention to your curly braces, um, because as we continue with this programming, things can get complex if you're not structuring your program properly. So ensuring good syntax and following the rules of programming will help you in the long run. So end of while loop. And so this is program number 5.